Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's show where we're going to be going through getting started in Brazil. Basically, how you can crush it and sell via print on demand on Mercado. How to do it and where to start. Hi, Thomas. How are you?
Hi, Aidan. I'm good, thanks. Hope everyone's doing well out there. Yes, the secret reveal this week, if you don't already know, is that Moteefe has a sister site, as we're calling it, or another site focusing solely on Brazil called Mercado. Exactly the same solution as Moteefe, but only for the Brazilian market. And the reason that we've got something like that is because in Brazil, it's a developing market, and it's quite difficult to get things in and out of the country. So we've got a production facility in Brazil, and the garments, the products are produced there as well as being printed there. So we've got everything in one place. Within Brazil, we can take payments in local currency with local payment options. So it's solely focused on Brazil. So everything here is focused on production and optimization from within Brazil. Moteefe is still there. So those of you that are new, that haven't seen the show before, Moteefe is a print on demand company. Print on demand is a way of producing things. You don't need a warehouse. You don't need all of this backlog of stuff ready to be shipped out. A customer places an order, and then whatever the product on whatever product they choose, you take the product, you print the design on the product, and then you ship the item direct to the customer. So that's the difference. And we do this worldwide on Moteefe, moteefe.com, and also in Brazil on Mercado, mercado.com. Links in the description.
Oh yes, and benefits as well is obviously no overheads. So cost to start up and get involved is literally zero. It's free to set up and sign up to Mercado and Moteefe. And the other thing that we've just missed there is Brazil is a big market, and that's the whole reason why Mercado exists, right? So just to throw out some fun facts for you ladies and gentlemen out there, Europe has 741 million people population-wise. The US of A has 328 million people, and Brazil is 211 million people. So it is a very big population of people to go out and target. And all these people, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm very right here. They all have passion, and they all have great passion in their own niches, hobbies, sports, everything like that, like they do everywhere else in the world. So it's definitely something to get involved if you haven't already. So to start off on getting started in Brazil, where should we begin, Thomas? Or would you like me to suggest where we begin?
Well, I think we should begin in Brazil. So yes, as you say, people are the same but different everywhere, and Brazil, they're the same and different. So they do one of the things, the real winning products in print on demand, the ideas, the concepts focus on niche, or niche, however they say it in America. Slightly different pronunciation, exactly the same concept, and that is that some people are more interested in things than other people. So you might have a hobby or a pet, or be the parent of a person that does something, and therefore you would be more likely to buy something related to maybe needlework, embroidery, weaving, sword making, blacksmithing, marathon running, sushi, potted plants, succulents, cactus and cacti, than somebody that wasn't interested in that. So you want to produce designs that are targeted for that niche. A general design is, maybe some people would buy it if it's a really good design, but you're not going to see really skyrocketing sales as when you put a design that really speaks to people in front of those people, and then they feel passionate about it. So it's a high passion. So a lot of things that people do every day, like, I don't know, maybe I don't know, washing their hair. It's not really a niche, something that you have to do. And again, making toast, not a niche. Toasting is not a niche. But if you're toasting bread by a campfire and you're camping at the time, then you can tie that into a niche. So
Yeah.
Cooking in general isn't a niche really, but being a chef would be a niche. This is always a good example because people say to me, "Hey, Thomas, is this a niche?" And they send me like a picture of a frying pan. It's not really. Grilling, barbecuing, definitely a niche. High passion niche. People care about that. But boiling an egg and that's not really a niche. So you're looking for something that's high passion, that people really care about, the kind of thing that somebody would start talking about and you wouldn't be able to stop them. If you've got a friend like that, that's the kind of thing that you want to choose to sell into.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm gonna clear up one of the biggest questions. People in Brazil speak Brazilian Portuguese, so obviously you would probably be a lot more successful running whatever design you've got if there's text on it in Brazilian Portuguese as opposed to your native tongue, be it English, whatever, right? And on that, if you are thinking, Aidan, I've got all these winning designs in Dutch, but I need them translated into Brazilian Portuguese, what should I do? You should email seller support at moteefe.com, okay? And we'll get them. Or message me and I will make sure that those are handled for you as quick as possible so you can get running and get those sales.
Yes, indeed. So what's the best way? What you do indeed need to sell in that language, Brazilian Portuguese. It's a barrier to some people, but it really shouldn't be. This is where mindset comes into it. It's an opportunity because other people are going to be lazy and not take the action. That's where you can get in and take the action. And what this means is that you've got a market of 210 million people, as Aidan has said. They're targetable in the same way, whether that's through Facebook advertising or you're going to build an Instagram following in Brazil and then market to those people. But they're targetable in the same way. But what they haven't had is everybody marketing T-shirts to them in the same way or other products to them in the same way as other countries had. So the United States, for print on demand, people have been doing this for a little while now. Still a great opportunity. Still lots of sales to be had in the US, the UK, and Europe. But a lot of those classic designs, ones that if you have a Google around, a search around the internet, you'll be able to find designs that have sold very well in other countries, but haven't yet been adapted and translated into Brazilian Portuguese and sold in Brazil. So it's a big opportunity. It's a fresh market. It's a new market. It's a younger market. The average age in Brazil is going to be a little bit lower than in the United States and Europe. I think that's fair to say. It's a fresh market. People are passionate, high passion, and they haven't had all of this stuff marketed to them over and over again for a long time. So a combination of these factors means that it's a great time to start selling into Brazil.
Yeah, and definitely. And again, sort of targeting. How would you do it? The most of the Mercado sellers that I've been speaking to, they target the main cities, right? That's where the more focused of money is, right? So the places you want to focus is places like Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, and Belo Horizonte, right? Because Brazil is a very, very big country. I mean, you can run ads to the entirety of Brazil, but if you do want to chop and change and go into them in a bit more niche or try different areas for different things, that would be my top recommendations. But again, run it to the whole country and see if it focuses down. And then once you've got the data saying that you get more sales in Rio de Janeiro, then for next time when you launch your next one to target that as a first off to save you all of that money targeting, right? Thomas, would you agree with that, or am I?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. So the first thing you want to do if this is the beginner's guide to selling in Brazil is you need to pick a high passion niche in Brazil. Yeah. So niches are the same, but broadly the same. There might be some bit more surfing, bit more beach life going on in Brazil than there is in other places. So take that into account. But you pick a niche, and then or niche or whatever, however the other pronunciation is, I'm not sure. But you pick a niche. You set up a Facebook page for that niche, so with a title that's related to it. Yes, you can translate. You can find a decent title. Get a bit of a logo going. You can do something very simple, just maybe the first two letters or the first letter of each word of the page name. Just put that together, or a picture related to the niche that you're going to target. So let's say that we decided to pick. Let's pick something a little bit different. Let's pick, what do we think? Sailing. Let's pick sailing in Brazil. Sailing in Brazil. So Brazil, coastal country, a lot of coastline. There's a lot of people go down there in a boat, in a yacht. So sailing in Brazil, okay, so we find a page name that's related to sailing. We get the Facebook page going. Then you want to do some design research. So now you want to look for funny sailing t-shirts, and you want to look on marketplace style websites. There's plenty of them out there. I don't need to. Everyone should know, at least Amazon. You just have a look around, find funny, relatable Pinterest you can look on, find funny sailing designs, and then adapt that design, make it better, and also translate it, get it translated into Brazilian Portuguese. Now, if it's a play on words, where it's the order of the words and the way they sound make it work in English, maybe it won't work in Brazilian Portuguese, but maybe it will. So it's worth trying that. And you want to start very smallly. I've got a Facebook ads course, link in the description, completely free, and that will teach you how to take a design and test it for less than $5. In fact, in Brazil, you can probably cut those numbers down in half and only spend $2 testing, because you get much more reach in those areas, in those countries in Brazil, than you would in Western Europe or the United States, where you'd normally be testing. So you can probably test a design for $2 and work out whether it's got a chance to sell. It's no guarantee. As I say, in the description, there's a Moteefe.school. That's the course, completely free. Check that out, and that will teach you how to do that. Then, it might take you a few designs. Don't give up. This is the key to being successful. You can't just say, oh, well, I tried one design and it doesn't work. No, you want to get as many designs as you can ready to test. If you've picked sailing as the niche and you've identified it, you want to give that a good try. It does help to know that other people are making sales in Brazil in that niche. So you might pick sailing and then realize that you're targeting a country, say, like the Czech Republic, which is landlocked. There might be some lakes in the Czech Republic. Sailing might be very big there, but I'm just using it as an example of a country that doesn't have a coastline. So you wouldn't do, say, necessarily deep sea fishing if you were targeting the Czech Republic, because they don't have a coastline. I'm sure there are some fantastic deep sea fishermen from the Czech Republic, but you can't do it whilst you're in the Czech Republic because there isn't a coastline. So little variations like that. You do need to sort of validate the decision, the niche decision that you've chosen. But once you've done that, you really want to make a commitment. You want to make a Facebook page, an Instagram page, maybe even a Twitter. That might be more difficult when you don't have the language, but if you are from Brazil yourself, or from Portugal, and you think you've got enough of a handle on the language to be able to handle a Twitter feed, then that's another thing to look at. And you want to build these up, but you want to make that commitment, and you want to say, right, I'm going to keep trying this. As I say, you can test a design for $2. You could, when you're starting out, you could try another niche at the same time, but I would encourage you at the beginning to focus on one niche and not give up. Keep going, and something in the end you will find a winning design. That's a guarantee. There's no guarantee which one of your tests will be successful. It could be the first one. I've seen it happen before. It could be the 5th, it could be the 10th, it could be the 20th. And I know some people, when they first started out, they were 50 or 60 designs in before they had anything that had sold more than 1 or 2 units, and then they took off. It's that mindset. It's that people are doing this. This is not some. There's no point in us saying this if you couldn't be successful, because your success is our success. And if nobody was selling anything, then we wouldn't be sat here, because there wouldn't be anything to sell and we wouldn't exist. So as we exist, well, I presume that we exist. We might be in the matrix, but even within the matrix, you're in the matrix as well. So we exist in this version of reality, and people are being very, very successful doing this. So that's the thing. Jump in and just keep going. Make a commitment.
Yeah. So you've got your course. What would you do about custom domains, Thomas?
I'd get them.
You'd get them. I'd
dominate them.
I would buy them, and I would verify them. And you know where I'd verify them?
Where, Aidan?
On Facebook. And with
verify them on Facebook through the platform.
Through the platform, yes,
so
I would.
You're telling me that I can go out and buy a custom domain and then link it to a store on either Moteefe or Mercado, and then verify that domain on Facebook through the platform?
You know what? I am saying that, and that is something newly come out. So obviously iOS 14, everyone's verifying their Facebook domains, and you can now do that on Mercado. So
Excellent.
if you've got your page running, you've got your pixel running, the last sort of part of the puzzle is getting a custom domain on there, be it sailinginbraziltees.com in Brazilian, of course, and Brazilian Portuguese, sorry. There you go. So the last part of the puzzle is complete. Christopher Leary, I've got to read out his comment because he just said, I just joined on the video just to find out we're all in the Matrix. You joined at a great time. There you go,
Perfect.
Christopher. So yeah, custom domains are going from strength to strength. If you're looking to make something long term, you can get to the position where you are just doing this full time for a few hours a day. You have to do it, right? It's an investment in yourself and potentially recurring passive income, right? It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, you don't want to be the sort of person that just you don't want to be the sort of person that just gives up on things. You want to make a commitment and keep going through. That's really what makes the difference in everything that you do. You're either going to be prepared to follow through, set yourself an objective, and then go and get it, or you're going to be the kind of person that tries something, isn't instantly successful, and then just gives up and then blames everybody. This is the real story of sour grapes. So sour grapes is that the fox sees the grapes, reaches up, tries to get the grapes, can't get the grapes, and then says, I didn't want them anyway because they were probably sour. That's the real thing, not the way that people use it. So then they say, oh, well, that's a silly thing to do. Nobody's making money there. I tried it myself. I wasn't successful. Yes, that's because they gave up. And that's the same with everything. If you give up, absolutely guaranteed you won't be successful.
It wouldn't be a Thursday live stream about print on demand if we didn't drop in some pearls of wisdom and fables like this, would it? It just wouldn't be the same. Wouldn't be the same.
It wouldn't.
And on pearls of wisdom, I'm going to bring up something that you guys may not have heard about. That is a thing in Brazil, and that is boletos. So in Brazil, they have a way of paying for items and goods called a boleto, which is basically you buy something online, or you place the order online. So you say, I want this item, t-shirt, hoodie, mug, you name it. And then what they do is they go to a convenience store or a store around the corner, and they pay for it with cash in the store, and then it's processed. Okay. So what does that mean if you're an actual seller?
Well, I think that we don't need to get into the conversion rates of boletos, but what we can say is that we have optimized regional payments in Brazil, including the wonderful boleto. That's a very popular way of paying for things online. Yes. And yes, that does mean that people can order something, get a number, and then pay with cash, so they don't necessarily have to have a card. So it opens up a whole extra group of people in Brazil that can order on top of the people that can order with the normal payment gateways like PayPal and credit cards. So hyper optimized the checkout for Brazil, and a unique way of paying for things, certainly, but a very popular way of paying for things in Brazil. Seems a little unusual to us, but they like it. It's sort of halfway between paying for something digitally and cash on delivery. It bridges that gap between the people that have an online payment way of paying online and the people that have a bank account way of paying.
Yeah. So that's covered. Any questions on that, just feel free to message me. And I think we're there. Let's have a look at some questions and comments. Guys, if you have got any questions on what we have discussed so far, or anything else for that matter, feel free to just drop that in the comments. I know that I got one from Marajan saying UK is the best at type for Moteefe because it has fast shipping. No, not necessarily. I wouldn't say it was the best. It does have fast shipping.
Hang on, UK.
What I would say the best place is where you're getting sales.
The UK.
Thomas loves selling in the UK. He has made a lot of money there.
The pound is up, but we're talking about the benefits of selling in Brazil today. But of course, the UK is the best. I mean, this goes without saying. But yes, the UK is very, very good, and the pound is high at the moment. So if you are looking to sell on Moteefe, UK Mother's Day is just around the corner. They have mothers in Brazil, but not at the same time. Sorry, Mother's Day. Obviously, they have mothers in Brazil, but not at the same time. So there is an opportunity on Moteefe that has everything that you need, the worldwide shipping network. Yes, excellent in the UK and excellent conversion rate at the moment as the pound soars and the dollar drops. But Brazil is what we're looking at. And if you are making sales in the UK, you can get those designs translated into Brazilian Portuguese and hit an entirely new market with an entirely new buyer base and really drive that through. It's a massive opportunity. And of course, I suppose that we should mention that advertising in Brazil is going to be a lot cheaper than it is in other parts of the world. So you get more bang for your boleto in Brazil.
Yeah. And Wagner, you've asked, what is the average age of Brazilian social media users?
I'd say they were average in their age.
I would say that they're between say 25 and 34, and there's about say 15% of that's 15% of users are in that age bracket. So yeah, so I would personally target anywhere between, well, I mean, this is media users, not media buyers, right? So
media buyers are people that are buying adverts, but buyers.
Yeah, let me rephrase that. Yeah, you're right. But buyers of your products, right? So
buyers with no clarification needed. It is, I would say, you want to target people a little bit older than normal. So in the UK, I say 21, 22, 23. In Brazil, I'd maybe push that up to 24, 25, 26, something around there to start, and then run that up to about 45, 50, 54, 60. Depends what you're targeting, depends what the product is.
Yeah.
If you're targeting something for, say, grandmothers, you want to hit the sweet grandmother age, sort of 54 to 70 something, right up. You go right up then. But if you're doing something like I don't know. I'm off to university, and I'm not coming home again. And the whole experience of being your child was a nightmare. T-shirt. Then that you would want to target a little bit younger, college age. So mix it up depending on the niche. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, what's the conversion rate in this country?" or "What's the best thing to target?" or "How do I target this? How do I target that?" Well, it depends. People buy children's products. People buy baby products. Baby products are huge. It's not the babies buying those products. It's somebody else is buying it for the baby. So there's a lot of gifting. I like to prefer to test with targeting women, as they tend to buy presents for the entire family, the husband. You know, the men are kind of less buy for themselves. But it changes. The thing with Facebook is that you've got a large audience. Facebook can optimize, and they can find buyers with any niche. It's all about the design. It's the design that sells and that makes the difference. It's the messaging that connects, not really so much the targeting.
Yeah, and I think within niches you kind of get a feel on what does work and what doesn't work in sort of age ranges as well. But you sort of, the only way to find out is by doing tests. I don't think that there's no clear-cut way of guesstimating before you run them, to be honest. And in terms of conversion rates, you know when something's good when you get a conversion rate of say around anywhere between 7 and 11%. But again, I mean, because it is cheaper in Brazil, say if your conversion rate's lower, you're still going to be profitable because it's costing you a lot less for the cost per acquisition.
Yeah, so conversion rates, it's all about how much you're paying for a conversion, the conversion rate, and all of these other things, cost per click. It all depends. You could have a 100% conversion rate and lose money, and you could have a 0.1 conversion rate and make money. It's all about the overall cost of the purchase to you.
Yeah.
Okay, Aidan, have we got any more sweeping up to do in the comments? Has anyone got anything else to ask about Brazil?
Not so much about Brazil in particular. We've got Marcus saying, I can't believe the course is free. It's amazing. Hell yeah, it's free. You're right there. Share it with your friends.
Yeah.
And that is about it. Any questions? Feel free to pop them up. But there is something I did want to mention.
If he wants to send us some money for the course, it is free. But donations. No, I'm joking. It's completely free. We rely. It's our our goal is to make people successful at doing this. We have no edge to it. It's a free course. There's lots of tips in there about Facebook advertising in general, how the system works, what to do. So you can exploit that knowledge for years to come, and we'd love you to come and sell with us. But it's a completely free course. We're giving it away, unlike some of the gurus online. I'm not a guru. I'm just here to genuinely help.
Yeah. We did have one question there, and I'll reword it a bit. So is there big differences when you're testing from Brazil to Europe? And I think the main difference that we've sort of mentioned here is the cost, right? You're going to get a lot more.
There's a cost, but there's also going to be, if you're used to testing and you're saying that maybe you'd expect to have 50 shares after you spent $5, or a click-through rate of 10% on an engagement advert. The numbers in Brazil are going to be different, but after you've run some adverts in Brazil, you'll be able to get an understanding of what a good response looks like. Every region in the world is going to have a different click-through rate, a different ad cost per add to cart, a different cost for a like, a different cost for a share, and you just need to. And even within that, every niche is going to have a different cost. So some niches are very expensive to get engagements, but people buy a lot. Other niches, you can get engagements very cheaply, but people don't buy so much. So, there's a lot going on there. And the thing to do is to just test and test and test and test and establish, okay, if I'm selling needlework T-shirts in Brazil, I should expect these numbers, and below these numbers is great for purchase, but higher than this is no good. Below this number for a like is good, but above is no good. But in a different niche in Brazil, it's going to be different. So you just have to know your niche, get used to the numbers, and then look for things that are significantly below cost expectations or significantly over. It's all explained in the course.
Oh yes. And just to wrap this up, it's Mother's Day in Brazil soon, on the 9th of May. So if you've already got stuff that's starting to really prove that it's successful, is definitely worth scaling in the UK, because it's UK Mother's Day soon, then obviously you get that translated. Send me a message, we'll get that translated, we'll get that in Brazilian Portuguese, and then bang, we can run that out, and you can reap the rewards of your hard work in the UK and Europe over in Brazil again.
Indeed, and they have Father's Day in Brazil at some stage of the day, Aidan. When's their Father's Day? Father's Day is Let's find out. This is live POD research. This is how you do it, ladies and gentlemen, with the assistant, my lovely assistant, and his keyboard.
Thank you. Sunday, the 8th of August.
The 8th of August. So get ready for that one. You've got some time to build up some momentum before the Father's Day.
Yeah. And obviously, if between now and then you work on your niche, be it the fishing niche, certain beverages niche or whatever, then you can just turn them on. So you get your normal evergreen ones, and then for Father's Day, you do a Father's Day version of X, Y, and Z, and then you push that, right? So it's definitely worth doing. Thanks for confirming, August. Thank you. So is there any more questions? But
are there any more questions?
There aren't yet. But again, just to confirm, if you are on YouTube or Facebook, in the comments and below in the description, you can find a link to the Moteefe course, Moteefe free ads course, completely free. You can find sign up page to Makazo, Moteefe if you want to sell in other places, Europe, USA, wherever. All the links for everything you need is there. Not only that, there's a link to the Facebook group, which I highly recommend, where you've got people discussing the pros, the cons, the left, right of what to do. And not only that, you'll have access to ask questions and message me. So if you've got any questions about anything, adding your domain, verifying it, whatever, setting up a pixel, you can message me and I'm more than happy to help. No more questions. So I think on that note, Thomas, we may have finished up on this week's live stream.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Aidan, and we shall be back next week for another subject. We haven't decided quite what it is yet, but it will be focused on selling.
Print on demand.
Or both. Well, thank you all very much, and we'll see you next week. Thank you, Aidan.
Yeah. Take care, guys. Have a good weekend. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.